Hello guys, yeah, welcome here. It's your girl Lillian. If you are new in this channel, this is Conversation with ELG, and if you are a returning subscriber, you are really much welcome and appreciated. I love you guys so much. So if you're your new member, you can please click the subscribe button and click the like button to like this video, and let's get into it. So in today's video, we're going to talk about my story. I'll say it is a part one of my story. So we are talking about my story and it's part one of it. So yeah, okay. I'm so excited because I'm able to share this story at a point whereby I've healed. I've been able to forgive myself, and I've healed completely. And also, yeah, I guess it's the best thing to do, or maybe it's the best thing that God has helped me. I've healed, I've forgiven myself in a lot of things because I used to sabotage myself so much. And yeah, before even the people could sabotage me, I myself, I used to sabotage myself so much. My self-esteem was not that good, and I thank God because I'm healed and yeah, I'm on my feet again. So in today's video is my story part one, and we'll be like, what really went wrong, what happened, like what really went wrong, what happened. So I was raised as a young girl in a family of 5, I guess. Yeah, it's a big family, but from my biological mom we are 5 kids. I'm coming from a polygamous family, so it's a very big family, it's a very huge family. So from a family of, let's say 5, and I was the third born. And between me and my siblings, we are so many years apart because my sister, I'm following my sister, and she's 5 years old, 10 years older than me. My eldest brother is 5 years older than my sister, so 15 years older than me. So that's my little background about my siblings. Yeah, family raised with so much love, so much care from my parents. My parents really love me so much. I've been raised around so much love, nothing but love. I can just say, yeah, they did the best, they did their best. I guess I am the one who did not do my best from my part here, but I thank God that's it's in the past, not current. Yeah, so I went to school. I went to school in primary school, and then when I was finishing primary school, almost when I was in class 7, getting to class 8, I guess that's where things started. Primary 7, let's say primary 7, going to primary 8, that's when I was going into my puberty stage or adolescent stage. And I remember boys were after me. I was so huge. Now I'm even small. When I was young, I had this big body. It was so big, my hips is broad, and I just transformed to this little girl. And in the society, people started chasing after me. There were boys my age and also men who are not my age. That's the bad thing about the society. I was a young girl with big body, but I was putting on school uniform, but regardless, they were still chasing after me. So when this was happening, I used to report to my mom, and I would tell this and this happened, this and this happened, and my mom would really go after these people. I guess it reached to a point whereby it was so bad, and then also I could not focus on my academics. My mom opted to take me to a boarding school, and also it became a rule because our school was so strict. You were not allowed to talk to boys, and yeah, it was so strict actually. So when we get to school, class 8, they said it was compulsory for every primary 8 because it was our final year to be in a boarding school, so that you can concentrate. So I went to a boarding school, and when I get to the boarding school, that's where I realized that it's normal. People are having boyfriend, and it's not an issue because I see people talking about it. Some people will talk about it. I have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend. And then it was a Catholic school, and then we used to go to church services with these other people from these high schools. When we got there, and it is on a Sunday, you see people mingling with the boys, and I was okay. So people can have boyfriend, and I was telling it to my mom. So fast forward the story, I finished my primary education and I went back home. And when I went back home after class 8, now there's this certain boy that kept coming after me. There's some also who did, but there's this certain boy who kept coming after me, and I went for it. He was my first boyfriend. I never told my mom about it this time round because I was like, okay, you can have a boyfriend. You don't have to be saying, you don't have to be telling a mom about anybody coming after you. So I kept it to myself, and I had a boyfriend, and we just, it was just like kind of, I don't know what that was because yeah, we're just coming to see me at home. I will sneak, go to along the roadside, we talk a little bit, I come back home. Yeah. So one day he invited me to his place. He had finished his high school, that is secondary level 12. Yeah, he had finished his high school. I had finished my class 8, so he was a little bit older than me. So he invited me to his place. Apparently his parents had rented a place for him, and they had furnished the house for him. So he asked me to go and visit his place, which I went, and I was like, okay, this boy is clean, he's fine. Okay, so I guess I'm ready for this. So we started the relationship. And I remember when we were about to go to school, because I met him when we were almost going back to school to join my high school. So that's where things happened, and I broke my virginity. And in that same night, I guess, is when I got pregnant. The same night is when I got pregnant, because I didn't know I was pregnant. I went to school. My mom took me to a boarding school. I'm pregnant. I didn't know, because how did I not know? Because it happened when I was also going to school, and also when I got to come to the school, I never knew I was pregnant, even if I was not going to my periods, because I used to skip a lot. I was not a regular person. I was an irregular person, so I used to skip a lot. So it's never clinked into my head that I can be pregnant. Anyway, just tried it once, so I was not thinking about pregnancy, because I was 100% normal. And the only thing that kept on changing in my body is I became more light, and I started becoming more beautiful. And people were like, high school life is taking you so good. You just came and you just blossoming. Like the way we people are here and you're really struggling, it's not the same for you, because every day I would keep on becoming lighter, and I was just normal. Yeah, nothing much affected me. So I remember this day when we were going back home for half terms. The schools had closed, so we were going back home for half term. And when I went back home, I remember I did not do anything. I found my mom washing clothes, and normally, unlike me, when I come back home, I always help her first, do everything, just do deep cleaning inside the house, and just turn everything, rearrange everything. But this time around, I just came back, I dropped my bag, and I just changed my clothes, and on my way to my boyfriend's place. So my mom was so shocked, because that is not me. That's not the girl she raised. She knows me. Like, I will make sure everything is tidy. There's no way I will see her washing and I will not help her. So she became so curious, what is really happening? Where am I going? Although I gave her an excuse that I was going to get some books from a friend. She went with my books, blah blah blah. And she was like, you people are coming from school, why didn't you pick it, or why didn't you get it? So yeah, I went to his place. So the curiosity in my mom made her to want to know where I was. Apparently the boyfriend's place and my home was not that far. It was so close. I did not need any transportation to get there. It was just around in the neighborhood. So when I was there, I spent the time there. I was just there full day, and evening came, and I was not coming back home, and my mom got worried. So I remember he arranged for us. We went out. We were not in the house. When my mom started looking for me, we went out. We were not in the house, and my mom started looking for me, and she could not find me, and then she opted to go to the police station. So it was bad. And when we came back from wherever we were, and we came back home, and we to that place, I was not even having an intention of going back home, to be honest. I don't know what was that for, because now that was my first time to start sleeping outside. I did not have intention of going back home. I just wanted to be in his place. I didn't know I was pregnant, but I just wanted to be there. That's what I wanted. So my mom went and looked for a police, and they came with a police officer in the middle of the night. And when they came with the police officer, they took him, and they took him to the police station. And when the police officer came, I did not allow them to go with him alone. I said, if he has to go to the police station, he did not ask me to come here. I'm the one who came here. Then I guess I'll have to go with him as well. My mom was so disappointed in me. I could see the frustration in her face, and yeah, I went to the police station as well with him. So I was locked in the women's cell. He was locked in the male cell, because I knew my mom so much well. And also the things that we had, that if you're found with a school girl, you may end up in jail. I was so scared of him, because I did not want him to go to jail. It's not there's just something that did not sit with me, seeing him going to jail. and I am the one who came to his place. I don't remember him asking me to come anyway, so I felt so bad about it, and I was like, no, I cannot. I have to be responsible for this. So yeah, I have to say he's not involved in this. I'm the one who came here. Please just let him go. So that's why I followed him to the police station, and when I got there, I was locked in the women's cell. He was locked in the male cell. Morning came, I guess we were there for 2 days. Morning came, my mom was so mad he did not come. So the second day, his parents came, and also my mom came, and they were asking us to have a conversation to solve the issue. And my mom said, if my daughter's never sleep out, and now she slept out, so I have to take her to the hospital to test if she's pregnant first, because my mom was suspecting that I was pregnant. I was like, no way, I'm not pregnant. We did not do anything. Actually, we didn't do anything. I was not pregnant, and I even forgot that I had done something before going to school. So when we went to school, and when we went to the hospital, and when we went to the hospital, I was pregnant. And you know, the results were given to my mom first, because she's the one who took me there, not even to me. And yeah, it was so bad. I saw her face, and she was so heartbroken. I thank God, because God gave her the grace. She took me and went back to the police station, and she gave the results, and then he accepted the pregnancy, and he was released. He was not jailed. So I went back home, and then I asked my mom, I'm pregnant. So what's going to happen? It was so confusing. I'm pregnant. What is going to happen? And my mom said, I don't know. What do you want? Like, what? I don't understand how my mom was that calm. She became so calm. I didn't understand, and she was like, okay, you cannot abort. You'll have to carry this pregnancy. You're giving birth, and you're going back to school. But because it's still young, it's not visible. Are you okay to go back to school? So I said, yes, I can go back to school, and then when maybe it's visible, I will drop out. So I was sure if I go back to school and then it becomes visible, I would not even have finished my Form 1. I would still have done nothing. So I became scared, and I just decided to stay back at home. I was like, it's okay, let me just stay back at home. After I have finished giving birth, then maybe I will go back to school. Yeah, so that's what happened. Then after that period, all that period, I stayed behind. I was pregnant. It was a lot of criticism in the society. People looked at me as a failure. I looked at myself as a failure, although I had an assurance that my mom is willing to take me back to school. And now I was in this relationship because I was now so much into it. Even my mom would tell me not to. She tried, but she could not do anything, because now I'm already pregnant, and all I want is just to be with this boyfriend of mine. So my mom would be like, you want to go to school, or you still want to be in this relationship? And I was like, Mom, I'll go back to school. I know I cannot fail to go back to school. That one was always on my head, and I knew. And then a lot of things happened. I was heartbroken when I was pregnant. A lot of things happened that even gave me more reason to want school now more than a relationship, because that season, this boy really heartbroke me. He used to have a lot of girls, a lot of women. He would exchange women as clothes. Yeah, it was bad. He used to exchange women as clothes. I'll go visit him in his place. I will find ladies' stuffs there. I'll go visit him in his place. Maybe he will leave me there. He will come back the following day. It was so bad. And yeah, so it gave me a lot of reason to say this is nothing like a relationship here. I have to go back to school. So that also pushed me so much to want to go back to school, as much as we had discussed with my mom earlier. So yeah, I remember after that I gave birth, and after giving birth, it was so bad. He never even did anything to the kid. Yeah, but his mom did a lot of everything. Like, his mom did everything. He shopped for the kid and everything, but he never did anything from his own for the kid. Yeah, but I felt so bad about it. And then yeah, it was so heartbreaking, and I went back to school. So what was life like in school? I'm here. My mom is not that financially stable. It was not like we had a lot of money. It's not like I'm coming from a very wealthy or rich family. No, we're just middle class. And now I've decided I'm going back to school. So I had to go to the school that my mom could afford. So I went to a day school. I remember it was a day school. It was a little bit not too close now, because I was even in a boarding school, but the boarding school was closer to my place. But now I've went to a high school that is not even close to home, because it was the only available in the area. So I had to trek to school. I had to walk to school every day, yeah, and come back and breastfeed. My kid was so young until when I was going to my form 2, because I started school afresh. I started form 1, so the first year was over, and then the second year was over. We never had a house help, so when the second year was over, my baby was now 2 years old, and when he turned 2 years old, we also enrolled him to school. So he will go to school and I will also go to school. So all of us were going to school and I was still in day school. So I really I was so determined to learn, and I really did my best, and I checked my exam, and it really impressed my mom. And she saw how I was struggling, and she saw how I was remorseful, and she decided now she's going to take me to boarding school when I was joining my form 3, so that at least I can go and focus and pass my exam with little distraction, because I was so much focused now in my books, and I did not want anything to do with boys. I did not want anything to do with relationship. Anyway, at this point, who even want to associate with me? I did not have friends. I was all by my own, because nobody wants their kid to associate with somebody who has given birth at home at that age. They feel like you are that the spoiled kid, and nobody wants to mix anything that is good with something that is spoiled. You may end up spoiling them. So I was just sitting at my place. I had no friends. My mom was my friend, and it also helped to build a bond between me and my mom, because I remember we became so close. She was my friend, my mom was my friend, and now she decided to take me to a boarding school. So this is almost 3 years now. After I'm going to join my 3rd year now. My 3rd year in high school, my mom decides to take me to a boarding school, and there's a friend of hers that she helped her to get me a good girls boarding school. And I remember that's where another bad thing happened. Yeah, so my kid is 3 years old. I'm going back to a boarding school, and I had this friend of mine. She was having an M-Pesa shop. She was having a shop, M-Pesa boutique salon, something like this. So I'll visit her. She was the only friend that I had. I used to visit her. That's where I learned the hairdressing skills from her. She's the only one who was close to me. So I remember after joining boarding school again, I came back home, and I came to pay her visit. And when I got to her shop, there's this guy who was also having a shop next to her shop. So this guy was looking at me and he was watching me. So he decided to approach me, and I was not having any relationship before. After whatever happened, these 3 years now I've been just focusing on my academics, and now this guy approaches me, and when he approached me, I gave it a try. That was the mistake I did. I didn't know I was messing myself up. Like he spoiled me. He used to give me so much money. I felt so happy because I was now having enough money to take care of myself and my kid without bothering my mom. She never complained that she's not willing to do it. She did everything without complaining. She raised my son so much well. Although I just wanted to help, but I was a school girl. I didn't have any income, but I just wanted to help. I felt like I need to be doing something to help. And now I've got somebody who's giving me money without even me asking. So he used to give me a lot of money. I would buy my son stuffs. So anytime my mom will ask where this stuff's coming from, I will say it is the dad's kid, but it was not him. It was this other guy who was giving me so much money. I would say that the dad's kid has given money. So it was very easy to run away with it. So yeah, so he used to give me a lot of money. I remember there is a day he gave me so much money. What happened? No, not really. There's a day that I was supposed to go back to school, and when I was going back to school, I used to go to his shop first. He would take me to the supermarket. He would do shopping for me. So I remember there was this day that I was very late to go back to school because the timings, in boarding school, if you delay in hours, you have to be sent back home. So my mom was supposed to take me for shopping, and he was supposed to take me for shopping as well. So this day, I even forgot that my mom is supposed to take me for shopping. So I just dressed up my school uniform and everything, and I left. I did not even ask my mom for pocket money. I did not ask for transport. I did not ask for anything. Like, oh my God. And in the school that I was, you could carry everything that you want. Like everything. I thank God for schools that they're now restricting shoppings because they're not giving people pressure. In my school, they were not restricting shopping. If you can afford it, provided you can afford it, you can bring it to school. That was not a good idea. I thank God because there are schools now that they just, even if you can afford it or you cannot afford it, you cannot carry much to school. But in the school that I was, you could carry a lot. provided you can afford it, provided you can afford whatever you want to carry to school, you can just bring it to school. I remember I had 3 boxes because those boxes were just full of food, and now I became so fat. I could now afford all the snacks that I needed in life. I had all the pocket money that I wanted in life, and yeah, and all these other things that I wanted in life. So he was giving me that much money. I forgot. And then, you know, my mom became so curious. I did not have a mobile phone of my own, and now the phone that I used to call him was my mom's mobile phone. And I forgot to delete the number because I was in a hurry. And my mom saw the number that I last called, and she saved the number. My mom, I don't know if she would have gone to school, she would be a CID, because she doesn't just attack. She makes sure she's right before attacking, and she does her investigations. So she took that number and wrote it down somewhere in her diary. So I went back to school, and when I got back to school, I remember I did not even call him. My mom just knew I went to school because I told her I left a note I was going to school, and she knew I was in school, and here I left this number. And then half-term came, and then when half-term came, I met with this guy, I guess, also, and then boom, I became pregnant, you know, again. I became pregnant again. And before me coming back to pregnancy here, I remember after giving birth to my son, after me meeting this guy and me going back to boarding school, things were so much bad because I had now enough money. I used to do clubbing. I used to party a lot. It was so bad, and I had known my mom's work timing. I would leave when she's not there, and before she comes back home, I am home. So it was very easy to play is it called the cat and rat game? It was so easy for me because I had mastered her timings. I knew her timetable, so it was easy for me. I'll come before she comes back. You know, now my kid is also going to school. My dad was home, and my dad never allowed me to move around with my kid. That was also another advantage, a wrong advantage on my side, because my dad loved my boy so much, and he would spend most of the time with him. He just wanted to be with him. So I was just there. I did not have that much responsibility of taking care of him, as my mom did so much and my dad also did so much. And now I had a lot of free time here, and I had just met this guy who had a lot of money. We were moving from one club to the other. We were just moving up and down. I remember there was time whereby I was being forced to move at nights, moving from this club. I really don't know what that was. It was so disrespectful of me to my parents. I honestly would go, and I would alcoholism was like the order of the day for me. And in school, in high school, I was a prefect, and even my teachers could not know, because as a prefect in school, they never knew me really well, because I had this other character in school that was a very good girl, a very hardworking girl, a very focused, innocent, hardworking girl. But when I get back home, I am this girl who is a party animal. I will go clubbing. I will do all these kind of things. I will drink alcohol. And then there's just this thing about the secular music. I don't want to talk much about it because I believe now it's a spirit. Even if I was home and I did not have plans to go anywhere, I would leave, provided they just, in the town where I'm living, everything is a small town and everything was just closed. The clubs were very close to our place. You don't even need, schools are there, hospitals are there, clubs are there. Like everything was almost so close, and we were living in this town. So I didn't even need transportation to go clubbing. I just needed money. And here I had somebody who was financing me going out, even as much as he never used to club the way I used to club, because he just give me money, I'll take my friends, we will go. He just give me money, I'll take my friends, we will go. That's how bad it was. He really financed me going to those clubbings and buying a lot of alcohols. Most of the times he never used to be there. I used to be there with my friends, and he was giving me money to go. I'll just say, I need to go to this and this place. He gave me the money. I'll be going. I don't know why the enemy used it in that way. Now if I look at it, it's like the way enemy tried to finance me getting spoiled, or me, my destiny being destroyed. I look at it that way because now I know better. Because he used to give me money without resistance, and it's not like he would give me small money. I'll go to club, even from Wednesday to Sunday. I'll go from Wednesday to Sunday. When we've closed school, I'll go from Wednesday to Sunday on daily basis without even missing. I was taking much alcohol, and my mom never knew I was drinking alcohol. He just knew I loved dancing to those musics, because even when I was home, I would put so loud musics and I would just be dancing. And you know, I'm raised from a Christian background, so that was so much disrespectful. I know she forgave me. I really asked for a lot of apologies. Yeah, I know she forgave me. It was so bad. Yeah, so we were this place whereby I've gone to school. He has done a lot of shopping for me. I forgot to ask for shopping, and it was not half time. It was on a Valentine Day, I remember. So this time I went to school and I liked that I was having a doctor's appointment, and I kept the date of the doctor's appointment close to the Valentine Day. That's why I always say, like, if you watch my Insta story, I say, like, for ladies, please don't stress and use the Valentine Day in the wrong way. So I used it in the wrong way, and the consequences of it I had to bear. So it was a Valentine Day, it was coming, and I had to lie to school that I was having a doctor appointment. I was having skin issues when I was in school, so it was very easy for me to move, to ask for permission. I will be given. I never sneaked out of school. I will ask for permission, and anytime I will ask for permission, I will get that chance. They will always give me without hesitation. I don't know which kind of favor that was. Yeah, because the picture I portrayed when I was in school was this young little girl who was so focused. Yeah, who was so focused, and just a good girl. Anytime, and they will know I'm very honest. As much I used to lie a lot. I used to lie. I would study somebody and I would lie, and they will buy it, because I have know the question you're going to ask me after that lie, and I've already answered it. So when the question come, I will have answered it. And so I got so much favor even in school, and I got the permission, and I went back home. When I got home, my mom asked me, like, why are you back here? Because in school, my mom had paid the full school fees for that year. The school fees for that year was fully paid. There's this also scholarship that I got when I was in school. That's how, like, God will provide for me being in school, but the enemy will not allow me be in school. I remember that scholarship where my mom was. I got it twice. I got the first one and the second one, and this was a full year. It scattered for full year. So my own was just to be in school and to learn. So my mom is seeing me back home. I don't have a reason. I don't have any school fees area. Why are you here? I just said to lie that I came back for the dream papers. But honestly, what I had come for was the Valentine. And she asked me, okay, you can take these dream papers, go back to school. I was like, Mom, can't you even allow me to have a night, to stay a night, and then I will go the following day? She said, it's okay, you can go tomorrow. So that was it. So that night I went out and I met with this guy. And when I met with this guy, and yeah, whatever happened, and I was pregnant. So I am pregnant. I don't know. I came back, I went back to school. And so when I went back to school, I was having my roommates in our cube in the boarding school, in the cubes where we were staying. I had my friends, and by this time, so we had a cycle, like if so and so gets to our periods first, the next one will go, and then the next one, then I'll follow. So the first one goes, the second one goes, the third one goes, I don't go for my period. You know, after I gave birth to my first son, my periods now became regular. So I'm like, what happened? I was like, maybe I did not count well. The second month comes, and then the same thing happened. And then, you know, in this one was so much different, because I became sick immediately. I was so sick. I could not eat anything in school. The only thing that I used to take was sodas and snacks. It was so hard. I could not survive in school. So I was so sick. I remember I went and asked for permission to go home, and they wanted to take me to the clinic, to the school clinic, but I was like, no, let me just go home, because I knew I was pregnant. This one I was so sure, because I've missed my period, which was not like it. And I was like, I'm sure I'm pregnant, and I don't want to be embarrassed here in school, because the person I'm portraying to be here in school is a different person that is always back home. We were totally two different persons. And I was like, no, I cannot embarrass myself here in school, because I remember I had already raised an eyebrows, because one of the visitings, the boyfriend came to school and he brought me so much shopping, and the teachers were also suspicious. So the shopping was a lot. The teachers were also suspicious. I remember they called my mom. That was even back before I realized the pregnancy issues. And they even called my mom, and then, you know, they didn't even know how to approach me and ask me about it, because I don't know what really happened between their conversation with my mom, but they never approached me. So I get they were so suspicious, and now I'm pregnant. I'm very sure I am pregnant. I cannot allow them to run a test for me here in school. So I convinced the deputy, and she gave me the permission, and I went home. So when I get home, my mom will see I'm sick this time round. She could not ask me why am I here. So I am so much sick, and she said you're going to the hospital. My dad used to take me to the hospital. I was this guy. My dad used to take me to the hospital. He would take me to hospital, but this time I did not allow anybody to take me to the hospital. The first thing I did, I just went and I did a pregnancy test. And once I did the pregnancy test and I confirmed I was pregnant, oh my God, I don't know. I recall whatever really happened. I broke down. I really cried. I did not believe it. I went to almost 5 hospitals. Yeah, I went and did 5 pregnancy because I was like, this cannot happen. This is not happening to me. I cannot believe this is happening. It is not true. Maybe the first doctor did a wrong test. Yeah, it was true. I was pregnant. And now it was confirmed that I was pregnant and I was not sick. I was not allowed to take a lot of medication. And I told him that I am pregnant. And he told me if we can, what are we going to do about it? Actually, it was also of an opinion, we can remove it because what are you going to do? You're going to school. And I told him if my mom found out about this one, I don't know. I know she will deal with me, but you're not going to be an exemption in this case. And I know he's going to take you to prison. He's going to jail you. I'm a student, and he was working. He was not a student. He was over 18. He was not a student. You're going to go to prison. And I don't want you to go to prison. I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm not going to abort it because I knew very much well if I try and do an abortion, I'm going to die. Because in that season, there was a woman who had done an abortion in our area and she had died. So I knew very much well if I tried to do an abortion, I'm going to die. And why should I die? And I have a son already. I cannot just leave my son. I cannot just leave my son and just die like that just because I'm pregnant. So I was so heartbroken. I didn't know how to go. So I drew a plan. I came up with a plan of escape, running away from home. So he gave me money. I did a lot of shopping for my kids, my baby. I just did a lot of things and I kept it there. And it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday morning, and my mom went to church very early in the morning. I said, I'm not going to church. I was supposed to go back to school the same Sunday because I now had to behave like I'm recovering. So the same Sunday, I was supposed to go back to school. So my mom went with my kid to church, knowing that I'm not going to be home because I'm going back to school. And so she took my kid to church, my son to church. I packed my stuffs. I did shopping that I thought was enough to sustain my kids, my son. Sorry, it was still one. My son before I would come back because I had the money. And now whatever I had already spent it, all of it. So he was supposed to send me money that I'm supposed to use for my transport, and I don't know why he delayed. I don't know why he really delayed sending that money, and he really hesitated sending that money. And my mom got a conviction when she was in church. Something is not right home. It's like she just went to church and she came back. And when she came back, she was like so frustrated. I was not putting on school uniform. I had already dressed. I'm leaving. So I had to take my suitcase, put it back in my room, hide it. It was a whole drama. It was a whole lot of drama. And it was a whole lot of drama. Yeah, it was not good. It was not some good stuff. It was a whole lot of drama. So my mom, oh my God, that was bad. So my mom came to my room and she found my suitcase packed full, and I'm not dressed for school, and she was so curious. She saw the suitcase and the way it was, she just knew something is not right here. Where are you going? So, where are you going? I had no question. I'm going nowhere. I'm going back to school. I just arranged my stuff because I need to leave them arranged and organized. I'm going back to school. Okay, these things that you bought for Ethan, where did you get the money from? Another question is like, her dad gave me the money. His dad gave me the money. And yeah, I bought some stuff for him. So I'm going back to school. So she had to buy my lie, and she was like, okay, dress up, go to school. Why are you not going to school now? Please be dressing up and go to school. So I put my school uniform on. I don't have money. Remember, I've spent everything that I have and I want to escape. So I text my friend and I ask her. By this time now, I was having a phone. I text my friend and I ask her to send me money. I want to use it for at least a border ride to her place before I get money to move to where I want to go. So I'm fully dressed in school uniform and she sends me the money and I'm telling my mom, no, she did not send me the money. I'm sorry, she did not send me the money. So I've already told her whatever is happening and I don't want to talk to her loudly. But my mom knew my friend. She was my friend. She was the only friend I had. And so my mom knew that I'm leaving, and now she did not send me money. So I just lied that I have this money in my WhatsApp, in my M-Pesa. Let me remove it. I need to use it as pocket money. Then my mom was like, okay, go remove it, come back, take your bag, go to school. She was sure I was going to school. The chance that I got to go to M-Pesa to get my money, that's how I went. I never came back. I ran to her place. She paid for the boda, and we had to force this guy to give me money. He was reluctant because he was scared. He was like, if you're going to run, your mom is going to look for me and all these things. I was telling him it will be easier if I'm not here compared to when I am here, because when I'm here I'm going to be tortured and you have to be found. At least when I'm far, it's going to be easier. Just give me the money. So he gave me the money, and my friend arranged for her friend's place, because I did not know her friends, and yeah, I didn't know her friends. So my friend arranged for her friend's place. Oh my God, that girl, she was helpful at that point. Yeah, she was really helpful. And I ran. I did not switch off my phone. So I would see my mom calling me, my dad calling me. So I'll be on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Anytime I want to talk to, I want them to reach me, I will put it on. I don't want them to reach me, I'll put off. They ask me where I am. Today I'll say I'm in Kisumu. The next day I'm in Nairobi. The next time I'm in Mombasa. I used to just lie. I would just lie because there's no way. So my mom is stressed, my dad is stressed. He doesn't know where I am. Nobody knows where I am. And now my mom is like, you're pregnant. So I called my sister, my elder sister, and I told her, this is what happened. I am so scared. I cannot come back home. I don't know what my mom is going to do to me. So, and I cannot abort the pregnancy. And yeah. So my sister tells me, it's fine, but you can still come back home. But I was not buying it. I told her I'm not coming back home, but I'm okay. Just know I'm okay. I'm just letting you people to know that I'm okay so that you don't get worried. So remember this number that I once called one day when I was going to school, that my mom took from her phone and saved it somewhere in her diary. So my mom started investigations from there to look for me where I was. So she took this number and she started dialing. And she did not send money to this person's phone number directly. She took it to the CID, and now her friend's number, they use it to send money. And then he called me and he told me, because we had a separate line that we used to communicate everything that is happening on the ground. And I would tell him, because I knew my mom's step. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. It was like a whole movie. It was so bad. And I told him, you have now to not use that line completely. So he had, and you know, it is his business line. I just gave him an option: you use it, or you go to jail, or you continue to be outside. Don't use it. So he had to buy a new line, SIM card. He was no longer using it. And now my mom pays a visit to my friend's place. This is my friend that I told you, she was my friend. And I don't know how she managed. She was now telling me later, I don't know how she managed to think, because immediately my mom came to her place and my mom asked her to help her with the phone. She wants to try reaching me out if I would pick my friend's phone. But that was not the case. My mom had just came here to take this number that she had saved in her diary, to dial in my friend's phone, to see if my friend is also having the same number, so that they can use my friend to reach this person, because she was 100% sure that this person knew where I was. So my friend deleted that number because she was having the number of my boyfriend by that time. She was having the number, so she deleted the number because the person was her customer, like, you know. So she deleted the number and gave my mom the phone. I don't know where she got that idea from. And actually that's what happened, because when my mom gave her the phone number, that number was in the dial calls, and she was like, oh my God, this just happened. So she called me and told me, like, this happened today. I was like, just know you're dealing with a smart woman. My mom is so smart. So yeah, whatever, you have to do it. So when they tried reaching me throughout, they could not find me. It was hard. I heard that my dad became sick, and now I had to come back home. So I was like, okay, my dad is sick, it is time for me to come back home. I cannot be in hiding so much. I loved my dad so much, and I did not want pressure and all these things to come back. I don't know, I was almost now 3 months pregnant. There were 2 months pregnant. It was 2 months, yeah. I did not stay away for long. So I decided to come back home, and when I came back home, things were so rough. Things were so rough. It was not easy. I don't think I would like somebody to go through what I went through. Yeah, people can still do life without going through everything that I went through. You can still go to school well. You can still finish your school. You can still, it is possible. It is really possible for somebody to go to school without all this drama. It is possible for somebody to finish their education. It is more than 100% possible. A lot of people are doing it. I don't wish any girl to go through whatever I went through. Like, for God's sake, like, I don't wish any girl to go through. That's why I'm sharing my story. I don't wish any girl to go through anything that I went through in that season. So yeah. Oh my God. So I went, it was so bad. My mom never wanted to see me. This pregnancy, remember, I was so sick. I never used to eat anything, because I remember I was sick from day 1 to almost 8 months. I was always sick. I was so sick. I became so thin. I was so sick. My relationship with my mom is at stake. She does not want to see me. She would yell at me anytime she wanted to. It was so toxic, but I caused it. I had to persevere. I remember it was so toxic. I had to move out of the house, come back, because now this pregnancy was my mom more than I just wanted to be around her, and she never wanted to see me at all. And I will even follow her to work. I will follow her to a workplace. Sometimes I will even go and help open the shop, and she does not want to see me. She used to yell at me so much, and I was sick. I was so sick. I never used to eat. I was so thin. I was so pregnant. And I know, as much as I was going through all this, my mom was going through much, because the society, a lot of people, yeah, I would even pass by and I would just hear people saying how she does not know how to take care of her kids. Yeah, she's allowing it. She's the one that is allowing it to happen. Yeah, she was criticized with her fellow women, some of our friends. I know also in the church, it was not easy for her at all, and now she had to take this anger back on me. Even anytime she got disappointment, I was the first person to come. It was bad. I really did it, and this time around it was so bad. It was so bad. I thank God my dad was still alive. At least I would get some solace from his side, but it was so bad. Long story short, I remember going to talk to my mom when I was still pregnant, and I really apologized. She insisted of wanting to know this person, because she did not appreciate the fact that she was not able to figure it out by herself. So I had to let him come, and we had to make a deal, like, you're not going to call police, you're not going to do anything. I am really sorry, and I know I cannot ask you to take me back to school. And I am this one girl that I was so determined in school. I really loved school. I don't know why this had to happen. I didn't know why I had to be pregnant. And I was just looking at other people having boyfriends, and they were not getting pregnant. Why did I just have to why was I was like, why am I the one who had to be pregnant, And I really wanted to be school, and I would see people having boyfriend and they're not pregnant and they're finishing school. Why is it happening to me? And I really wanted to be in school, but now I am going to be a mom of 2. Is there any hope for school? No. I have not finished my high school education, so I felt like my whole life had shattered. I became so aggressive, because that was also a defense mechanism for me. If you try to talk anything bad about me and I hear about it, I used to fight a lot, and I was pregnant. I used to fight with my peers in the area. It was so bad. Yeah, it was because I became so aggressive. I had so much anger. I had so much bitterness in me. It was so bad. You could not backbite me and I just step on it. No, I will fight. I will fight. I remember there's a day I fought with this girl. She was my neighbor, and I was so heavily pregnant, and it was so bad. It was so bad. I don't ever want to remember that part. Yeah, I was so aggressive. It became a defense mechanism for me. Yeah, I remember when somebody is heartbroken. I guess that's also a different mechanism people use. Yeah, I was so far. I used to fight them a lot. So I would not sit down and allow somebody to talk about me. Anyway, what was I expecting? They had to talk because I caused all of these things. Yeah. So my mom was so annoyed with me. She was so disappointed. I could see it and read it in her face, and she never wanted anything to do with me. So I remember telling her this thing, and I told her, Mom, I'm really sorry, but I know I don't know how to ask this, but in any way you can find it in your heart, and if any day, one day, God will send me a good Samaritan who will want to take me back to school, I will really appreciate it. I will really appreciate it. So my mom says nothing. She went to sleep, and before I put to bed, I guess she had this vision or a dream or something, and she decided she would take me back to school. I don't know what happened between her and God and what God showed her. She just said she would take me back to school because the word that I told her, she remembered that I would really focus. I never wished to be out of school. I was just so remorseful. I cried so much. I used to beg her. The more that she did not want me, the more I used to draw myself to her. I would just come. That she's going to abuse me, she's going to say anything, I would not mind. I would just come to her. And I used to love her so much. When I was pregnant with my girl, actually I named her after my mom. I don't know what that was for real. Yeah, so she said she would take me back to school. I felt so much relief, and I even remember my mom went and looked for a school where I would go back even before I put to bed. She went and looked for a school, and she got me an admission letter and everything before I even put to bed. So I put to bed on February and I joined school in March. Yeah, that was everything that happened until when I joined school after becoming a mom of two. So stay tuned, and I'll be sharing from the next part 2 because this video is going to be a long video. I don't want it to be a very long video. I'm going to share from story from how life was when I was a mom of two, and how I navigated school life. How was school life when I was a mom of two? That is also another phase that I will not wish anybody to go to. Remember, I'm just sharing this to learn so that people will not feel like I'm bragging about it. There is nothing to brag about it. Everything that happened was bad. It was never supposed to happen in the first place. I just want people to learn from my story. And if you're there out there and maybe you think like you are a mess, you think like you cannot start over again, you can always start over. You can always come and start over. Just look at the bigger picture, because I remember the thing that pushed me at this point is the primary school where I went to. My mom took me to the best girls' school in the area, and in that girls' school, people are rich kids, you know, they go to this best school and they were just living life. And I was like, how am I even going to meet my friends? I'm here, a mom of two, I am pregnant, my life is all shattered. So I'll be carrying kids on my back, and I'm going to meet my peers when now they are having all these professions, and they are anytime that picture will come into my face, I will really cry. I will really cry. And I was like, I've destroyed my whole life, and I really need to do something. I was ready. I did not want to know how much it's going to take me. I just wanted to do it right, and just to try and achieve it in life. That was the focus. That was the only focus that kept me moving. So your dreams are still valid. I know if something has happened to you, maybe you're watching or listening to this story and you're a single mom, maybe you're a school dropout, don't give up. It is a mistake. It can happen to anyone. It happened to me. Although it's not supposed to happen in the first place, you can still live life the right way without being involved in all these other premature relationship. You know, we can get in a relationship in the right age and get courtship in the right age, and then get married and then have kids inside wedlock. You're not necessarily need to have kids outside wedlock the way it happened to me. So this is just to encourage you that don't give up. Don't give up yet. Don't give up. You can still start over, and there is still light at the end of the tunnel. So stay tuned. We are going to go to the part 2 of this story, how I navigated life in high school, because I had to go back to high school for the second time, but now not as a mom of one, as a mom of 2 kids. Until then, see you. Bye bye. If this video was interesting to you and you really enjoyed this story, please click that subscribe button. Don't forget to like the video you've just watched, and also share it with somebody that you know that this video is going to help them to come out from where they are and it's going to bring them. Until then, stay tuned to the next story, part 2 of the story. Bye bye. It was an amazing time having you here. Bye.